Hey everyone, Mario here. Today I wanted to discuss muscle work-life balance. Balancing your career and your life or your lifestyle is already a huge challenge. Most people are never really able to do it successfully. So how in the world are you going to add muscle and muscle building into the mix? How do you keep this up well into your 30s, 40s, possibly 50s, 60s, or even 70s? I would say that you do have to make something that you enjoy doing a priority. It helps you. It helps you in spheres and areas completely outside of physical activity. It can help with your job. It can help you move up in your career. It can help you in relationships. There are so many benefits to muscle building, and a lot, what comes with it also is usually individuals will be just more conscious about their health. So they'll be leaner. And this is of course relative to other people that are not so interested possibly in muscle building or physical fitness in general. So it does help you in other areas. If you can make that a priority, it will actually help you advance in those other areas. It'll give you more energy. It helps in almost every regard that you can think of. It really does. Posture. I've covered this in other videos. It helps with stamina, with libido, right? For men, testosterone levels go up. If anything, it maybe can cause balding long term, and that would be I would say the only negative side effect of it. But aside from that, it really it kind of boosts everything. And hair loss, it'll happen either way by a certain time if you're predisposed for it anyways. So it might just speed up the process a little bit. But I digress. It's like I said, everything has advantages and disadvantages, but muscle building just seems to have like one, and it's mostly for men. So aside from that, how to achieve this sort of balance between the three? Because even if you are making muscle building a priority and it is helping you kind of advance in other areas. Even those advancements can sometimes create challenges. So you might advance in your job, ultimately reach an executive level position, and you might attribute it to it, like I said, to muscle building to a certain degree, only to a certain degree, of course. But for example, when I was in my younger years working at a retail store, those weeks where I really concentrated on my training and kind of said, screw everything, I'm going to just focus on this, and, everything else will fall into place. I would get job offers, as I was working in a shoe department at a local major retail outlet. And, I'd be approached like every time I went through this phase of getting in shape and building muscle and leaning down, almost always leaning down at the same time, I would get quite a few job offers. So this is something that can happen, and even within your own company where you're at, if you're established, it could help you move forward. People take notice and might want you to be a spokesperson for their company, might want you to be more of a representative of the brand, and you'd be surprised at what your physical appearance can do for you in a company. And it sounds very shallow and superficial, and it is to a degree, but it's something I would say out of our control. Generally speaking, this is how people view others and view the world. Individuals are always looking for someone that's successful, and they kind of are attracted to them. So if your boss sees you improving in terms of physical health and physical appearance, they're going to take notice, and they're going to bump you up a little bit. It just happens almost automatically. So with that comes some challenges if you do get bumped up. And like I said, you might even get to a point of being an executive within the company, vice president of marketing, whatever you were, whatever department you were already in, this could happen. So you might find yourself with a better salary. That's great. But you'll also have more responsibilities and more ties to the company and more emergencies to deal with, and have to allocate some of your time out off hours to like I said, to emergencies, things that could happen overnight. Everybody deals with online business today, so it will come about. So how does that help you, right? It kind of sets you back in a way in terms of muscle building. I honestly think it doesn't. I think it won't. Like I said, if you're getting bumped up, you're also getting paid more. If you're getting paid more, you can hire people to do things that take a lot of your time. So whatever time you lose from having more responsibilities within your company, it'll get replaced with being able to hire a nanny to help out with the kids at times, and I see nothing wrong with that. I understand that there is a big debate on that stuff, but either way, I'm just trying to point out a few examples of how you can save time, and more time than like I said, the time you'll need to add to the normal 9 to 5 that you're already doing for a particular company that you're working for. So that would be one. You can also hire a maid or just a cleaner to clean your house every couple of weeks. Even a sort of an assistant at some point. It really depends how much you're making, but you could have a personal assistant, either part-time or full-time, working with you that takes care of literally tasks associated with your just normal household chores and cleaning clothes and whatever it might be. But of course, the wealthy are used to this sort of talk, and you just might find yourself in that position. Like I said, if you are getting bumped up, you'll be able to hire people to help you out and speed things up, and you'll actually ultimately save time. So there's that. And also, in my younger years, I would say I would never say to somebody to train early in the morning. I felt like that was the worst time to train, because you're kind of tired, you're almost like groggy. Even if you wake up and you're a morning person, you take a shower. I never felt like that was the optimal, those were the optimal hours to get a workout in, especially a workout that involves, it's not just doing like 20 minutes of cardio on a treadmill. I mean, you might do the 20 minutes on the treadmill and then work out your chest, and you might work out your biceps, and you might work out your calves and finish up with your calves. And, that's 3 muscle groups. There's some cardio, you're working out your heart, you're working out, you're burning fat, building muscle, and that's all great, but it takes a lot out of a person. And mornings, doing all of that right before you get to work, I think for anyone that's really serious about muscle building, that would not be the ideal scenario. But now, being a little older, having young children, a lot of responsibilities in my own business. I work for myself, but still, it's basically a job that I own. I still have to work the 9 to 5 and work, after hours. So to make all of this work, entrepreneurs, most entrepreneurs are not like, this. It's not this dream thing. Really, you have to put in probably twice as many hours to make the same income that you would within an established career. So anyways, I'm getting into other things, but I just wanted to say that there is a lot of things you need to do in the evenings and with children and all that. So that's what I was trying to get at, that your evenings are going to be pretty packed, especially if you have children. So like that 5 till picking up the kids from school, daycare, maybe preparing a meal, maybe helping out. I often mention this because I have a in-law that lives right next door to us, and it's not to say we take care of them, but we we'll assist them in any way we can when they need some additional help. So there might be that, you might be helping out your parents or your dad or your mom or mother-in-law, father-in-law. This is life. You enter your 30s and 40s, it very much becomes your reality to be a little more selfless, I would say, and help those around you, help your family, help a friend occasionally as well. So your evenings are kind of busier than when you're in your younger years, teens, 20s, 30s, 40s. Your life is quite hectic. So, you might have to train in the morning. And my point in what I'm saying is that you have to find the time, and maybe the morning is the best time for you, even if it doesn't feel like you would get optimal results training in the morning, because you might not have any other choice, or it's going to be just tough being consistent. If you try to push your workouts to the evening, you might find yourself too tired to work out. So you're going to want to bring it back, to the mornings in that case. I mean, start your mornings fresh. Obviously, if you're working in a suit at your job, I'm saying you're going to have to, take a shower after you train. So, an early morning workout, maybe even while the kids are still asleep. I mean, between 6:30 or 5:30 and 6, that seems to be the hours when everybody's kind of still sleeping. For most people, get up, set a little light alarm that won't wake anybody up, and just do the workout. Do it at home. Do it, if you have a home gym, all the more power to you. That's great. If you have a garage gym, I'm just mentioning these things because some people don't realize that they have the space when they might think that they don't have the space to create a home gym. So if it's not a dedicated room, you could use part of your garage. If it's a 2-car garage and you only have 1 car, and you're not one to stock your garage with tools and all kinds of machinery, then you could definitely save a little spot, put some mats on the floor just to give it that effect. I know you don't really need to, but give it that gym effect. Get some portable training devices. There are so many. I would just love to list them here. I'm going to come out with a future video talking about that stuff. But there's some excellent pieces of equipment that are so lightweight that you could probably even travel with, and it really kind of creates a almost commercial gym environment without having the big machines. But you can also have a squat rack, and you can also have a sort of Smith machine or some type of all-in-one device to that's a little bit more robust and industrial. Whatever it may be, like even if you're using your own body weight, doing push-ups, dips, lunges, squats, sit-ups, crunches. There's a lot you can do even with your own body weight and in a chair or a couch. There's quite a bit you can do. So what else can I say? So the workouts, try finding that optimal time for you. I mean, the optimal time, I'd say, is always to finish your day doing something you enjoy doing. I never understood when people start their day with that. I love the idea of saving the best for last. I mean, and of course, the best, if you have children, it's likely your children, that's your pride and joy. You want to spend time with them, as difficult as it can be at times. That, of course, is the most important thing. But the kids will likely go to bed quite early. So, if they're in bed by 9, maybe even 10, some kids have trouble sleeping. I understand that. I totally get that. Let's say they're asleep by 10 o'clock. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could stay up an hour or two and do a workout. I mean, find those times that work best for you. If ideally, I would say train in the evenings, but it might not work for you. You might be just too tired by that point, stressed out. It's almost overwhelming. You would maybe need to unwind before you even work out. Like, working out has always been my way of unwinding, but for some, it requires quite a bit of effort. Even if they love the results, they don't love training as much as I do. And I have gotten quite sick of it, to be honest. Over, decades of training, decades really, you start to kind of get sick of the same old movements and the same patterns of training. Even if they do work for you, even if they bring you results, it could be quite boring, and at times you really want to shy away from that almost. But so in either way, my point is, it might be more difficult for you than for me to train, but I think we're all in the same boat in that it requires effort, and it requires consistency, of course, and that's not easy for anybody. It's easy once you get into the flow, once you see that it's working, that you do have that muscle work-life balance, and you notice that things are moving forward, and but here's the biggest takeaway from all this is that things do get taken from you. You lose a parent, you lose a loved one, you get fired at your job. Maybe they're just restructuring, and maybe everybody got fired. Maybe there's huge changes at your company, and it was completely out of your control, not dependent on you at all. These things can happen, but something that has to continue happening is this work-life balance, and the formula is doesn't change too much. You still got to do all of those things. You still have to work to bring in an income. You still have to train consistently to get results. In the gym, you want a home gym or park gym, wherever your gym is, you still need to do those things consistently. You might need to do cardio, so that makes it even more difficult. I would say it's quite difficult for someone like me. It might not show too much, but of course I have some fat to lose. And, already working out for half an hour to an hour or even longer a day, 4, 5, 6 days a week is not that easy for me. Running a business, and at the same time having 2 children, being married, and just, living, like I said, close to an in-law that occasionally needs a hand with a thing or two. It is kind of hard to even find that little bit of time. And then now that I'm adding cardio to it, as of recent, it makes it all the more difficult. But it's not, it's not a huge commitment. It's not a huge change. I think it seems bigger than what it really is before you start usually, or towards the beginning. But once you get started, you'll notice, cardio, I can't do more than 20 or 30 minutes a couple of times a week. So I'd be able to do like cardio 4 times a week. Anything more than that is completely detrimental to my shape. I lose muscle. My frame, it seems to get more narrow. It just doesn't work for me. So guys, there's not much I could say. I wish I had a magic formula for you, but like I said, you still need to do all of those things. The important thing is to remain consistent and to do them. So all the best to you, and I hope you have get some benefit out of this video. Thanks.